Hi there, this is Stieg Strand with Remax Results. I want to talk to you about Chanhassen's home sales for the month of November. November was an interesting month in many ways. Right here, new listings. How many new listings were there? I'm going to take off my glasses so I can see a little bit better. How many new listings were there in Chanhassen for the month of November? Well, there were 16. When we look back to October, there were 27 new listings. In September, there were 47 new listings. So obviously a precipitous drop. Closed sales, there was 19 closed sales in November. If we look at October, there was 36. I think that, it's 36. So it is lower. So that also means there's less pressure because there's less homes on the market. Buyers generally like to have a lot of things to look at. So let's look at days on the market. How fast were homes selling because there was a lot less on the market? Well, they were still selling slower. And there's a number of reasons for that. Number one is we're in Minnesota and it's cold and we don't like to go outside as much. And we also don't like to move in the middle of winter, given everything else equal. So 42 days is the median amount of days that it took to sell one of those homes in Chanhassen. That does seem inordinately long, especially when the month before in October it was 19. But
Quick question for you. Are you curious about the value of your home? If you are, I have just the thing for you. Just scroll down below where you're watching the video right now, and then where you'll see free market value report. And you click on that link right there next to it, and it will go to this website, which is my website. You'll type in your address, and then you'll push that green button. It will ask you for your email address, and then it will send you an email, and it will be an automated valuation of your home. The only other person who knows that you did it is me, and I'll keep it quiet. I will send you a thank you, however, but other than that, no one else will know.
if we look at another statistic, shows to pending. So this is how many showings, how many physical showings. Well, most of the time they're physical, but somebody goes into the home, a prospective buyer. How many of those showings does it take to sell a home? Well, in October, it took 9, and in November, it took 10. So even though the amount of time that it took to sell a home took a lot longer, it was about the same amount of buyer pressure. It was just spread out over a period of time. As a matter of fact, when we look at the statistics on percentages of list price, et cetera, sellers are still getting the majority of their list price, even though it was November. So how does that bode well for us? Well, it bodes well in a number of ways, but one of the best things to do is to look at how much is on the marketplace and how high is the demand. And that is with this month's supply that I'm looking at right now and showing you. Month supply is how long it takes in months to satisfy all of the buyer demands, or how many supply of homes is there before we run out if no other homes were listed. So in this case, it's 1.5 months. That's not very long at all. That's only, 5 or 6 weeks. So if we look at October, it was 2 months. So it was even more. We had more supply in October. And in September, there was 2.5 times. So 2.5 months, the amount of supply that is, really needed. Now, these are seller-oriented numbers. So when I see 1.5 months, I see showings to pendings at 10. That really tells me that the market is very strong, still very desirable. There's plenty of buyers out there. It's just going to take longer to get the sales cycle done. So anyway, the last thing I wanted to point out was I wanted to mention I am really thankful that you watch these videos. And if there's anything I can do until the next video you watch, please let me know. Bye-bye.